I would like to thank the Ma Ivana. Hello, everyone. My name is Sakia Donaldson, and I am the founder of the Science of Beauty. I want to welcome you guys to our Unlocked webinar series. This is our second episode, and we are so very excited. We first want to give thanks to the My Ivana team for hosting this webinar tonight, and we are super excited to be here. I hope you guys are enjoying your time in the living room. It's such a cool place and space to learn about all things science, all things STEM, beauty, hair, and all of the things. Hello, everyone. Tell us hi back. Okay, so we are here today with our special guest, Miss Meloney Moore of SCAD. Meloney is a dynamic educator and marketing professional who currently serves as the Associate Dean of the Desole School of Business Innovation at the Savannah College of Arts and Design. Moore's unique approach to teaching has cultivated a funnel of creative talent within the classroom, contributing significantly to creative business landscapes. In 2018, Meloney Moore launched the Business of Beauty and Fragrance B.F.A program, resulting in one of the fastest growing degree programs at the Savannah College of Arts and Design. Before joining SCAD, Moore spent over 17 years building global brands and creating engaging retail experiences for industry giants such as Estee Lauder, Toys R Us, Diageo, and Liz Claiborne. Her work has been recognized in publications like Glamour, Elle, and Dazed. Moore holds a bachelor degree of arts in marketing and government from the University of Notre Dame and a master's of business and administration degree from Cornell University. Did I get all that right?
Yes. Thanks for
Notre
having
Dame,
me.
honey. Y'all were real close this year.
We were so
Y'all
close.
was
We were
so
so close.
y'all was
Oh,
so
that was
close.
heartbreaking. But you know what? I mean, it's such an amazing team. I'm glad we were there.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal to watch.
It was an amazing run. So welcome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Melanie. Yes,
Thank
yes.
you so much for having me and doing this. It's so important. So I'm
So
glad,
very important.
more
And it's
people are
yes.
learning about it.
Yeah, and especially being on a platform like My Ivana, who's just taking the AI beauty space, by storm and just really doing some amazing things in this space. So I think we're gonna have a great evening tonight.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about SCAD because I'm a SCAD girl, especially the location in Atlanta. I actually used to live next door there, so I attended a lot of events at SCAD, whether they were fashion related. I've spoke there a few times, but I will say when I came out to Savannah last year to meet you, that was a very different experience
It
from
is.
the
It is.
Atlanta campus. So tell us a little bit about the SCAD in Savannah, which is just probably the most amazing institution I've ever set foot on.
Yeah, I mean, Saki, I consider you what we call a scadvocate.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
so, yes, absolutely. And so these are our industry leaders, mentors that really believe in the university and, kind of facilitate the conversation because a lot of people don't know about SCAD at all. All of our locations are very special. We have 4 locations, SCAD Savannah, SCAD Atlanta. We also have SCAD in Lacoste, which is in the south of France. And we have a completely virtual campus, which we call SCAD Now. But I think the best way to kind of give people a background on SCAD, I'm going to show a short video because I think it's really necessary so you can see all that SCAD has to offer. So if you give me 2 seconds, I'll bring that up on my end.
Yes. And I think that's what sold me when I went to the SCAD show. And I was just like, this is amazing just to see where it started and where you guys were at that space. I was really blown away. So I think, we can talk about it and advocate it as much as we want, but seeing it visually, I
Oh,
was really
absolutely.
blown away. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to play that now.
Is the catalyst of potential for myself and for the people around me.
You have this wonderland that is SCAD, where you have all these resources to execute your wildest dreams.
SCAD to me is this pot of gold of inspiration.
SCAD is where the future of all creative industries is reimagined. Our graduates not only know how to excel in their industries, but they know how to innovate and create change.
Our students are able to shoot in locations they have never been able to access. With the 2 LED volumes, we're training our students on this environment so they can lead the conversations in this industry.
I had never seen anything like that before. It's really just the foundation of how to build a business and how to be an entrepreneur.
SCAD is where creativity knows no bounds. It's where imagination and passion come together to inspire and innovate.
The resources are endless. As a student, I really took advantage of those resources to absorb as much knowledge as I could.
SCAD definitely is the best place to be. I'm on my way to my dream career because of SCAD.
When I first came to SCAD, I was absolutely amazed by the energy and the positivity. It creates energy in those who become involved in it.
SCAD is a lifelong institution. You're part of this school for the rest of your life. The wondrous resources that are available to you is phenomenal.
So that's a little bit about SCAD. I hope that was a good introduction. But you can kind of see we have over 100 degree programs. But the business of beauty and fragrance, which has been very popular over the past few years, is definitely growing.
Yes. So let's get into that, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into the beauty and fragrance curriculum and degree program that you have at SCAD, which is one of the very few in the country.
Yes.
I think there's maybe 3 or 4 cosmetic kind of chemistry based programs, and you guys are definitely leading the way in that. So just from looking at the video, SCAD is known for innovative approach from arts and design, everything from gaming to fashion to sneaker design, and now fragrances and beauty. So you guys have always been on the cutting edge kind of that. So how has SCAD positioned itself as a leader in this fragrance and beauty industry, and what unique opportunities does your institution offer students looking to enter into this space?
It's a great question. I see a lot of business of beauty and fragrance or cosmetic science programs emerging in higher education. And I think that's amazing. I think it is a testament to how dynamic this industry is. It's one that continues to grow despite economic downturn. And it's one, where there are a great group of female leaders, which I love. It's an industry that's diverse, and it's something that everyone can participate in. So it's very inclusive. And I think, as a result, the career opportunities are now getting the exposure it deserves. Ultimately, beauty is consumer packaged goods, right? And so we're all familiar with Procter & Gamble and the Unilevers, but I don't think everyone's very familiar with, there's an Estee Lauder, there's a L'Oreal, there's, a Shiseido, and those companies who are really, focused on cosmetics. So as we crafted this major, it actually did not come from SCAD. SCAD's very connected to industry, and the industry actually approached us.
Wow.
And so Carol Hamilton from L'Oreal came to SCAD, and she did a SCAD Pro, which is where our industry will do collaborative projects with the students. And we did a project for Urban Decay. And I think after that entire experience, there was a question like, how do we get more entry-level talent in the space?
Right.
Because even when I joined at Estee Lauder, you had to have an MBA for an entry-level position. And you can imagine.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
In what field?
An MBA in marketing to
Marketing,
be on the
okay.
marketing team. And so typically that was the lowest level, was an MBA. I mean, many of the admin assistants had business degrees, MBAs.
Wow.
And if you think about that from a business standpoint that's growing, that doesn't give you a lot of flexibility on the lower end. And so it was difficult because there's a huge learning curve. When I joined, it was tough because beauty is a completely different business. It takes 18 months to bring a product from concept to shelf.
To shelf.
So, you think about a job where you don't do the same thing twice for 18 months. That's a hard job to learn.
Yeah.
And so I think the industry was very smart in thinking about, how do we reduce this gap? And we partnered with L'Oreal to develop a really dynamic curriculum. That curriculum was developed, and then I joined SCAD to implement, and it's just been fire ever since. So I started with 7 students. We have, roughly 160 in the major now, and just growing. I mean, with international reach. So our curriculum is developed so that the students can really hit the ground running. They start off with like the history of commercial beauty. They go into marketing, product development, global markets. We look at sustainability, which is like a part of our DNA. And then finally, they get to spend 20 weeks developing their capstone project. So the curriculum is really robust, but within that, I think what makes us innovative is we partner with industry with everything we do. So they're in our classrooms, they're working with our students on their assignments, they're networking constantly so that they are ready to go when they graduate. We're very career focused.
What I got from that was how the market dictated what you guys did, right? Because here you have a beauty mammoth like L'Oreal coming in like, look, our recruitment pool needs to be replenished, right? And so, for a company like that to see that gap and understand, not looking at right now, looking at 10, 20 years down the line, what is our hiring pool going to look like? So let me find an institution that we can invest in, pour into, because basically they're training their future staff.
That's a true investment. And and as it's progressed, I mean, we've gone through curriculum revisions, and we've worked with Estee Lauder, we've worked with Coty, we've worked with Rare Beauty, and anyone who comes to SCAD, we have an opportunity to kind of talk about, like, what do you see as the gaps in entry level talent? How can we help fill those gaps, and how can we improve our curriculum constantly? And we review this every year.
Wow. Yeah, because this industry changes at a flash. It changes at a flash. So if you're doing what you were doing 6 months ago, you're already behind. But one thing that I will say, that just from my experience with SCAD, one thing that I think, separates you guys from everyone else that's either in this space or trying to come into this space, is that you guys really have a global appeal, right?
Yes.
When you have a campus in the south of France where students can go over and study abroad, like, it doesn't get any more global than that. So can you speak about like SCAD's global reach and how you guys are using that to kind of prepare your students for this this beauty space that is a global space?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize the US is not the number one market for beauty. China is the number one market for beauty, and Asia is the leader and the innovator. And so there's so much happening around the world. I think we would be remiss to have a quality education in the business of beauty and fragrance without giving our students a global education. And so as such, we partner with industry so that we can provide study trips and global study abroad opportunities to our students. So for instance, our students go to France, to our campus in Lacoste, and then they visit master perfumers. They learn how perfume is made. They make their own perfume. They make their own fragrance bottles. They visit L'Oreal in Paris, and then they go to all of the stores. And so they really understand what's behind bringing a product to life, because it is complex. It is emotional. And so they get a really great experience. I had the opportunity this past December for 2.5 weeks to take students to Japan and Korea. And so I partnered with Jessica Krull, who is such a SCAD advocate, love her to death, from Allure magazine. And she sent her features editor, Diana Stein, and she was amazing. And they traveled with us to Tokyo, Kyoto, to Jeju Island, and to Seoul to meet Procter and Gamble, to meet L'Oreal, to meet Medicube, to iLab's manufacturing plant, Condé Nast we visited, Amori Pacific. And so, I mean, we got to see everything. And it was such a great opportunity for the students. And during this trip, they did a project where they, kind of, presented what they thought would be the future of editorial beauty. So it was such a gorgeous trip. I'm going to show you a video.
Oh, we love videos, and we love Korean.
Yeah,
we love Korean skincare.
So
I am so
started.
I'm
I
so
do have
jealous.
a personal story to tell after this. It was an amazing trip. It really was.
Oh wow. I can't wait to see this. Oh my God, I would have gagged. I would have gagged.
Like
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, watching the video, I can't even believe I was there myself.
Wow. Oh my God. That was so amazing. Melanie, are we still here?
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. That was amazing. And so you guys took the trip with Allure magazine, and you also spoke about Condé Nast, which everybody knows is like probably the biggest publishing house, around. So let me ask you this question. In the United States, the publication landscape and space and magazines have really died down. Everything is went digital. So how is that landscape different on a global scale as it relates to the United States? Because you said they focused on like editorial beauty, which is totally different, right, from real world application beauty. So how's the publication landscape different globally as opposed to domestically?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dynamic space. I mean, if you think about the role of editorial beauty, that is where consumers engage with the brands in an authentic manner. When a brand is kind of engaging with you one-on-one, there's always that element of selling.
Yeah.
And so, as we look at the editorial space, it's kind of been cannibalized by influencers, celebrities, by social media. And so if we, look at the dynamics in, let's say, Japan and Korea, it is very, very different. And so publication and editorial space is very dynamic. So it's more consumer engagement experiences. The Best of Beauty Awards from Allure, their eventing strategies. If you look at like Refinery 29 and how they event with BeautyCon, the space is different. And so our students wanted to understand, how could editorial beauty move forward and become a relevant partner in the conversation between brands and consumers. And they came up with some amazing ideas. And so it was very fun to watch them brainstorm with editor in chief of Allure and then do their final presentation when we had our Beauty Unlocked event in Savannah.
Wow, wow. And this kind of goes into our next question. It's like, how is SCAD preparing students to be at the forefront of these advancements, and what industry partnerships or real world experiences does your program offer? So you mentioned, trips with the Lord, right? Because in this space, publications are very important. Ad dollars there's a lot of ad dollars still spent, in publication. So that is still very much so is a component of the space. And then, like you said, your partners are there with the students. They're in the classrooms, their mentorships, their cohorts. So how is that like preparing them to leave from SCAD and get out into the real world and make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, our founder, President Paula Wallace, always, I love the statement from her. She's like, no starving artist at SCAD. We don't offer degrees that you can't get a job in.
Right.
And so we're very career focused. The majority of our faculty come from industry, and we come with our industry connections because we're training the next generation and the future of our industries. With that being said, in addition to curriculum, in addition to bringing industry into the classroom, the way we develop and the way that we teach our courses are very unique. And so I'll give you an example with our capstone projects. So when our seniors do our capstone projects, they have basically 20 weeks to work with a mentor, to collaborate with other majors, to develop a new brand, product, formula, package, 360-degree marketing plan, and a business model, which they then present to the industry at the end of the 20 weeks. Imagine going through that process, right? And not having a great job opportunity after that.
At the end of
mentors, yeah, I mean, at the end of it, mentors come and they're just like, oh, well, I need to hire this person.
That's
exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want
right now. Her.
Exactly. And and they're vested because they've spent this time, developing them since they were sophomores. I mean, you look at some of the larger companies like L'Oreal and Estee Lauder, they come to SCAD to preview our sophomores. So they come early because they're very focused on talent. And, it's not even just about getting them jobs. Sakia, my first graduating class have all been promoted twice. Like they've all been promoted.
This is what year 4 or 5?
This is during COVID they graduated. So it's like 2020, I want to say.
So this is 5 years.
Yeah,
wow.
They've all been promoted. And so
twice.
Yeah, most of them twice, definitely once. And we had our first Forbes 30 under 30, Miss Hannah Harris.
Was she with was she the one with the hand?
Brown girl hands.
Brown girl hand.
Yes. So her business is still taking off. And we're so proud of her. We also have another student, Regina Perez, who's gone to help run one of the biggest companies, makeup companies in Mexico, Bizou Cosmetics. And we I could go on and list all of them. I feel bad, like I'm not spitting them all out. But they're phenomenal, the things that they're doing. I mean, they're at Revlon, they're at Tatcha, they're at Rare, they're at Sol de Janeiro. Like they're everywhere and they're doing phenomenal things. And I keep seeing them, in publications, and really, really proud of them.
Yeah, and just to think, that wasn't something that we even thought was doable, 10, 15 years ago, right? Like, you had to find a roundabout way to get to this destination.
I remember being in fashion and wanting to get into beauty, and everyone's like, well, good luck, because it's hard to get into the beauty industry. Because it was a very closed circle. And I am so excited now to see that there is a direct path into this industry. And they all are doing phenomenal and very different things. I mean, we have someone in HR human resources, marketing, education. We have one student from our film department who's going to work for creative for Clinique.
Nice.
So,
yeah,
amazing.
there's so many avenues and entry points into this space. So that kind of leads us to our next question, right? Like the future, the trajectory, the 5, the 10, the 15-year, what does that look like? Especially in the beauty and fragrance industry, in the way that consumers are actually consuming products, how they're shopping for products, right? Because that landscape changes. And so how is SCAD preparing their students for the next 5, 10, 15 years to be able to answer those calls from consumers?
That's such a great question. It's something that we grapple with on a regular basis. Our curriculum, the way that it's built on white space opportunity, simulation style courses, and then consumer centric ideas. And so the idea is, while we want to be grounded in innovation, it must be related and consumer centric. And so most of the times in our classes, our assignments has to be an original idea. And we really, really push that. And we have frameworks developed to help students achieve that. But as I look at kind of the future of beauty in general, there's so many things that are changing, right? And so we're bringing that into our curriculum. So I'll give you an example. If I think about tech, tech hasn't really been, and I think I posted this on my social, tech has been a tough thing for the beauty industry to absorb. But there are areas in which tech actually thrive. And I think hair is one of them.
Shout out to my Ivana.
Yes.
Listen, Candace
hair is one of them.
Let's go.
I want all the devices. I want all of the things.
All the things.
The automatic hair braider. I'll try it all. And so I think that's a real space. But as we look at things like, skincare, we really do, enjoy the tactile nature of the application process of that. And so like I said, it has to make sense for the consumer. But with that in mind, we partner with our industrial design department so that our students do have the opportunity to look at things like devices and to explore those things. We have a SCAD Pro class where we focus on just beauty innovation, the future of beauty.
Wow.
Another interesting thing with fragrance. So we're having a fragrance renaissance right now, which I love. Like, it is a scent moment. And there's so many brands that are engaging in the space. And what the younger consumer is really gravitating towards are the more crafted fragrances, the more artisanal fragrances, small batch, vertically integrated brands that I see now, like the Labo. And so it's interesting in that space. But now, what we see with the science of fragrance, I mean, we can bring back flowers that no longer exist on this planet and now make those fragrances so people can enjoy them again.
Correct.
We can start to blur categories like food and fragrance. And we can start to blur more fragrances that have kind of medicinal qualities. So this is all the research that's happening right now, and this is something that we've been looking at as well. So I mean, there's so many strides in this space, going just beyond personal fragrances. Industrial fragrances are becoming a huge thing. Everyone is branding their business with a fragrance that they're pumping through the vents.
I was going to say, when you go to Abercrombie and Fitch was one of the first brands. I'm like,
for good or bad,
like every time I come in, but it became a staple for them. You go into different hotels, right? And
absolutely,
they're pumping this fragrance, and like you said, they're branding it for outside consumption, right? If I'm staying at the Edition and it's just like, wow, this smells amazing, I want my house to smell like the Edition. And now they're packaging it, and
you want that experience again.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
that is amazing. And what you spoke about as far as like being able to bring back florals or plants that may be extinct because of climate change or things like that. That's interesting, because would that fall on the more synthetic side? It would have to fall on the synthetic side.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Wow.
So from a tech perspective, we're seeing a lot of technical advances in the fragrance industry, and then in industrial sense as well. So there's some really cool things happening. Nail is having a moment. I love it. I'm like all about it now.
All of the things.
All of the things in
All
nail.
of the things. And that's another, aside from hair, I think nails are another space where
Yeah,
tech is really being
yeah,
utilized. Like as far as the skincare and the makeup, we still have a little ways to go. But
yeah.
hair and nails, I think, are really at the forefront of that technology merger.
Yeah, I think people are really thinking Jetson style. I'm going to put this mask on. It's going to spray this makeup on my face. But realistically, I think there's so many other advancements that are happening.
Realistically.
That realistically, and I mean, you go to Korea. I mean, I thought I was going to have to rush the students back on the bus after going to Olive and Young. However, I was the one they were dragging away because I was like, wait, I just need to buy this
I
one
need a
last
mask. I need
this
one
one
more
last
mask.
thing, and then I'm ready to go. I
Like,
mean,
like I
it
need to buy
was
another bag. I have to take this stuff home with
it
me. Oh
was
my God, I would
I
have
mean, and it's stuff we
fainted.
can't get here. So it was just phenomenal.
Melanie,
We'll talk
Melanie,
about how much I spent in
Melanie.
Korea. I know, I
But the
know.
tech, that kind of leads us to our next question, right? So
Mhm,
with the advancements in technology, we talked about technology, we talked
mhm.
about sustainability and biotechnology influencing fragrance development. How do you anticipate these factors shaping the industry long term, and what role will education play in equipping future fragrance creators for these shifts?
Yeah, I mean, it talks about the importance of developing talent in this space. I don't think there's a lot of parents that understand that there's a career path. One of the largest recruitment opportunities I see in this major, and where I see a lot of students come, are students who were pre-med who transition into this major, because I think that becoming a doctor or getting into medicine is something that we're taught from a very young age to aspire to, which
And
is an
it's safe.
amazing profession.
It's
It's
safe.
safe. You'll always have a good financial standing. But this is the flip side of that, and this is kind of the fun side of science. And I think as more STEM students are discovering the business of beauty and fragrance and how many career paths there are, we're going to see more of these programs enter into higher education. We're already seeing them in high schools,
Yeah.
and they're starting to pop up in Europe now.
Yeah, I love that. And Melanie, we've had conversations about my STEM program, the Science of Beauty, and
Yeah.
that's really the basis and foundation of the program, to expose these young girls to career paths that they just did not know existed. Like you said, this industry has been gatekept for a very, very
Mhm.
long time. It's like you almost had to back your way into this career. But now it's like with programs like what you guys are doing, with programs like what they're doing at Spelman, like I always say,
Yeah.
when you want to know the trends, you follow the leaders, right?
Mhm.
Because they're going to lead you right to where you need to be. And SCAD has always been in that space where it was very cutting edge. So it doesn't surprise me that you guys are one of the first ones to develop, this type of programming. And it just makes me extremely excited, right, about the future, because we're just really scratching the surface of
We
this.
are. My new thing now are gamers, because
Honey.
That's my new thing. Like the gaming community. People don't realize Roblox has an entire beauty division.
I was gonna say they have beauty, they have fashion, like Roblox is out here inspiring trends, right? And they get all the parents' money.
So we had Roblox a couple of weeks ago at SCAD, the beauty division, talk about a digital transformation in beauty. They were joined by the chief digital officer of Shiseido and the chief integrated marketing officer at Elf Cosmetics, who's doing amazing things. And
I am obsessed with
market.
Elf. I have been. What is his name? O'Keefe.
Patrick O'Keefe.
I have been stalking him for about 6 months. Like, sir. I mean, just their initiatives. I've always been a fan of their products, right?
Yeah.
But just, their DEI initiatives, their commitment to inclusivity and all of the things.
Yes. Patrick, Corey. I mean, they have an amazing CEO. I feel very lucky to be a part of this community. I can honestly say all the brands that we work with are just a pleasure. They're super open and willing to help our students. And I mean, we couldn't be a part of a better industry. Our industry is very cool.
It's super cool.
It's a great community. Everyone is passionate about it. We all get along. It's a great community and a great industry to work in. So
you're excited.
Yeah.
It's like you're excited about it. You're excited about opening your emails to see the next thing that's coming up.
Yeah. It's great to sit in a class. It's just so much fun.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. So there's it's not a new category. There's a space that I just entered with my Fly Girl approved brand, hair perfume.
Yes.
So that's a segment that is very niche, right? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it is niche, but it's one of the first cosmetics brands or not brands, products ever invented. I mean, this goes this goes back to the Egyptian era. So the word perfume is called, is means through smoke. And so incense were the first form of fragrance, and they were used to scent body, to scent hair, to scent everything. And still in Indian culture, hair is scented, using many different, oils and incense. Scenting hair has been a process throughout history.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that it's coming back.
Right.
And we see in cultures, even in Latin America, that their shampoos are heavily scented. I mean, herbal essence is a hair scent.
Yeah.
is mostly a hair scent.
Yeah.
I think what's going to be really interesting to see is how this manifests in Black hair care, because I think for a long time we just got cocoa butter and shea butter smells, or mango butter, just because, or some Caribbean flavor, just because. But now I think there's some really innovative brands out there that are bringing new scent profiles, and everyone's here for it.
Yeah, that would be us. Fly Girl approved. Our first offering. It has scents of like blood orange and peach and jasmine, and I have to kind of educate people, like, because they're like, they want to spray it like all over them, and I'm like, no. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you if that's what you want to do, but we marketed, we developed it for hair, and it's just an amazing fragrance. I'm really big into layering fragrances, so it definitely does that. It's aloe vera water based, so it's not heavily leaning on alcohol, so it won't dry your hair. It's healthy for your hair. It gives it shine. So we took those things into consideration for Black and textured hair, right? Because we typically just spray perfume like all over, and it's like, yeah, it smells good, but it's not really the best thing for
Yeah, and
your
our
hair.
hair has natural oils that we have to really consider when
Yeah.
combining with other fragrances.
Correct. So something that I had spoke on when we were talking about Elf, we were talking kind of about their stance and like their DEI initiatives and things like that. So that's going to bring us to our final question. So with the current political climate and the rollback of DEI initiatives, what barriers do you foresee for inclusion in the fragrance and beauty industries, and how can institutions like SCAD help ensure diverse voices and perspectives continue to shape the future?
It is wild what's
It's
happening.
wild. It's the wild, wild west.
It is wild. And without getting, political,
Yeah.
no one can deny a consumer. It is impossible to deny a consumer.
Yeah.
And the demand for beauty is
Not
historic
going anywhere.
and it's not going anywhere. And so I think that to ignore the consumer is going to be at your detriment.
Correct.
And I think that this is a category that's easy to apply. It's easy to enter. Everyone can use it, and no matter who you are or what your size is, you can put on the shade of lipstick. You can wear these nails. No one's stopping you. And so the pure demand is going to, I think, keep our industry
Thriving.
and keep it going.
I agree. I agree. No matter what we go through, the pandemic, recessions, economic downturns, all of the things, it does not matter. Beauty is going to thrive. We're going to find a way to get our nails done. We're going to find a way to buy a new lipstick or a new fragrance, because beauty is connected to emotions, right?
Yes.
And anything where you can tap into someone's emotions, you're always going to have a place in a space there.
Yeah, and it brings joy. I
Yeah.
mean, grooming brings joy, scent brings joy, and so and and everyone deserves that. And
Yeah.
so I think as long as we're connected to that, I think ultimately we'll be good. This
Yeah.
industry will stay good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're almost to the end of our broadcast. I don't know how we can see questions. Um, let's see. Do we have any questions? If you guys have any questions or comments, please definitely leave them in the chat. Okay. Is there anything else you want to leave with the people about the trajectory of this space, what SCAD
Yeah,
has going on education wise, and just talk a little bit about the how to get into SCAD, what does that look like?
absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are joining who may know someone or, have a daughter or son that may be interested in this space. I highly recommend going to scad.edu and going to academic programs and doing a little research on the beauty in our beauty program. The best place to follow SCAD Beauty is our Instagram at SCAD Beauty. It's a super dynamic space. It's really from the student's perspective, and you can see the type of education that you're getting. We respond to all DMs, all questions, and we're on like most all platforms, so LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And so please feel free to reach out to us, and we would love to answer any questions. If you want to visit the campus, we have SCAD days at Atlanta campus and our Savannah campus. You can register at scad.edu/SCAD day.
Nice. Now, I do know by SCAD being a more design focused school, we want you to have good grades, right?
Yes.
But we don't really focus on test scores and things like that. So I know at one point, if I'm not mistaken, you guys accept portfolios and things like that for incoming students just based on what their focus is. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I love the application process at SCAD. We understand that a test does not determine who's going to have a great career in our 100-degree programs. That we need to understand what your extracurricular activities are, what your passions are, looking at your work. We take portfolios for to review for scholarship opportunities, but portfolios are not mandatory. So it's, applying, your first step is really to go to scad.edu /apply. And then once we have your information, you'll be assigned to a counselor, and they'll walk you through the entire process. So our advisors are really skilled. I travel with them quite a bit, and I actually do one-on-ones with families who are interested in attending. It is a very easy process, and you'll have the support throughout all of the steps.
Nice, nice, nice. So let me ask you, so we have a few questions. Are there any upcoming events or opportunities at SCAD? Is there a calendar or maybe something people can sign
Yeah,
up for to
absolutely. A calendar on our website, scad.edu /calendar. And so you
Okay.
can see our academic calendar, you can see our events calendar. It's all on our website, very easy to see. Also, we post on SCAD Beauty any upcoming events, but we do have a SCAD day that's going to be coming up, and I believe that's going to be in April.
Okay.
And any aspiring college students can attend that. Also, we have great public events like SCAD Style, where we bring in industry leaders to give talks. We live stream those. That's a great opportunity to engage in some really great conversations.
Nice. I mean, the events at SCAD are top tier, honey. Like
I mean, besides the film festival and Beauty Unlocked and TV Fest and
and all
BAM,
the things.
yes, all the things. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm really
yes.
excited for BAM. So Black History Month, we do a really great show with, and it's usually themed with some really great like historical Black singers and songs. I mean, it's just hype.
Wow.
Everyone in the
It's a
audience is
vibe. It's a
on
vibe.
their feet. So
Yes. So we have, let's see, we have another question. Someone inquired about our STEM kits here. So actually this is our prototype of our Science of Beauty STEM kit. We'll actually be rolling it out in a couple of weeks. You can go to our website www.thescienceofbeauty.net and you can get more information. You can sign up for a pre-sale. I'm super excited about launching the product. It's a way for people who can't experience like the full-on camp and programming, gives them the opportunity to get a little piece of the Science of Beauty. So visit our website for updates and information, www.thescienceofbeauty.net. And let's see, we have another one. Okay, does SCAD have an adult, or did I say weekend, adult night school programs?
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of offerings. I'm going to put in the chat. There's a YouTube video about our SCAD Now campus. And that's where we offer many of our degree programs online. Right now, the Business of Beauty and Fragrance is not offered online. However, we do have a master's in luxury brand management. We have amazing graduate programs at SCAD, from everything from service design, design management. We have creative business leadership, luxury brand management. These are phenomenal ways to kind of skill up and then enter a different industry or a different function if you're interested at SCAD, and still have access to all of our events and opportunities.
Yeah, and now you're part of the family.
Yes.
And you get all the benefits of being in the family.
Exactly, exactly. And the SCAD Now video that I sent from YouTube, that's a great way to kind of see what that experience is like.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, Meloney, Girl, you know I'm a scadvocate. That's my
I
new. That's
know
my
you
new.
are a advocate, and I want to do all the things as well. We
Yes.
definitely have to partner more, but thank you for,
Yes.
developing our youth. It is a calling, and
Yeah.
we're very
Yeah.
lucky to have you on the side. So
Yeah.
thank you
And
for
thank you so
everything.
much. Like everybody that I've met on this journey, it's like they've welcomed me because this is so like I'm like you, I started in fashion. So this is so like
It's so different.
it's related, but it's
Yeah.
not, right? Especially
Yeah.
when you start talking about chemistry and
Yeah.
science and all of the things. It's like, oh my God. And technology is like clutching my pearls. But what I
Yeah.
can say is this community has been so super supportive of me as I've, grown in this space and just kind of flush my vision out of what the science of beauty could be. Because when I first started out, I just wanted to get a group of girls together and do something fun for the summer and make some lip balm, and not even realizing the depths. I'm still learning every day, a different way to be involved. Okay. So we're getting ready to wrap up. And so again, my name is Takia Donaldson. I am the founder of the Science of Beauty STEM program. We do week-long summer camps where we expose African American girls ages 10 to 17 about STEM careers that exist in the beauty industry. And if Miss Meloney, if you want to let the people
Sure.
know again who you
I'm
are.
I'm Meloney Moore, and I'm the Associate Dean of the Desole School of Business Innovation. We have 13 degree programs, and these are graduate programs in design management, service design, creative business leadership. We also have luxury brand management, advertising and branding, social strategy and management, and the business of beauty and fragrance.
Which
And
I love.
I know, which
I
is
love that. I mean,
which is
I'm just, it makes me so excited. It makes me so excited. So, Melanie, thank you so
Thank you for
much
having me.
for sitting down, spending your Tuesday with us, spreading all of your Black girl magic, all of the amazing things that you are doing. And we want to thank our gracious host, Ma Ivana, for allowing us to come in the living room. But we appreciate it. We have fun, and we can't wait to see to do this again. So if you guys want to keep up with what we're doing, you can go to scad.edu. And we're at thescienceofbeauty.net. So thank you guys so much and have a great evening.
Thank you.